Hey Dylan, thanks for taking my call.
Hey Dylan, big fan of the show.
Huge fan of the show. Love what you're doing.
Such a big fan of the show. I'm so glad to have a minute of your time.
Hi, Dylan. Thanks for having.
Dude, Dylan.
Look, I cannot help you. I'm sorry. It's not hard to understand, okay? So here's my thought. You would be crazy to think that.
Welcome into Hey Dylan, the show where I talk to my favorite people about our favorite things, and it's always big events that gets us together to talk about whatever it is that gets us fired up. And in the month of February, there are two very, very big events, and I honestly don't know which one's bigger because Survivor is hitting its 50th season, and they are bringing in some of the biggest and the best 24 castaways from 49 seasons to take on the biggest prize of them all, to be sole survivor against an elite crew of survivors. And at the same time, in February, the New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. And there's no one better to talk about both topics, than one of my good buddies, Richie Becerra. Richie, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We are a couple days away from February. This is probably, it has a chance of being the best month of the year.
It feels amazing. I mean, I think Survivor has to be the biggest just because it is season 50 and the Super Bowl happens every year. Granted, the Patriots are back after what, 7 years away?
Hey, nice. Nice. Yeah, I mean, luckily we do have the Super Bowl before we get to Survivor, because we watched UFC, and now on Paramount Plus, we watched the Patriots AFC Championship game. Nothing but Survivor press everywhere, and there's a lot of good stuff that's come out, including usually they do this piece with Entertainment Weekly. For some reason, Entertainment Weekly gets this great exclusive, talking to each castaway, getting the bio. Usually we're doing this talking to learning about a bunch of strangers, but now it's kind of interesting because we're getting a glimpse of what are some of our favorite survivors, how they're feeling going into 50. And a big thing they revealed this week was the tribes and how they're splitting up the tribes. Very, very exciting, very interesting. 3 8-person tribes. We're going to break each tribe down. Also, we're going to talk about our favorite quotes from the bios. We're going to get into another thing that came out today, which they asked each Survivor 50 castaway who was snubbed from Survivor 50. We're going to talk about our snubs, what we thought of that. Who we think we have we're also going to get into who we think has the best chance of winning, the lowest chance of winning, and kind of the mid chance of winning. Richie, I want you to talk about Traitors a little later too, and then we're going to break down the Super Bowl as best we can. Let's get into the tribes. Let's start with the Pink Vatu tribe. We got Colby, we got Genevieve, Rizzo, Angelina, Q, Stephanie, Kyle, and Aubrey. When you see this group, what are your first thoughts? What do you make of how this tribe shook up?
There's a lot to go on in this tribe, I feel like. I mean, you got the relationship between Colby and Stephanie. They played on Heroes Tribe together before. You have Stephanie, who's already said she wants to target Q because of some weird messages he might have sent her. You got Aubrey and then Q, who Q said in his season that Aubrey was one of the biggest threats of all time. And then, I mean, you've got the Colby and Rizzo, one of the oldest guys, and you just got to wonder how he's going to take the way Rizzo talks.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely a unique group. I love a player that I'm really looking out and watching for is Genevieve too, and how Genevieve crafts her relationships. And I think that's interesting. Yeah, there's a few people here. Kyle said in his kind of pre-game thing that he wanted to vote out Rizzo. Great quote where he said, "Rizzo, you got all the tape on me. I have zero tape on you." Thought that was a good line. And yes, Stephanie and Aubrey both said they want to vote out Q. So with that knowledge, I don't know if that's actually going to play out. But kind of an interesting mix here. I don't know really who's going to come out as the alpha when they hit the beach and when it's time to make us. Who comes to mind right away? I mean, Q's a pretty loud guy.
Yeah, and I honestly think it sounds crazy, but I think Kyle's the biggest threat there because he's already won.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah, they all want Q out, but I think Q's somebody that they could keep along and get him out later, where Kyle's a winner. You want to get them out early.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Vatu tribe. I like the pink. I think that's a cool color. We'll go over to the orange Sela tribe. This is an interesting one. We got Joe. We got
Hmm.
Christian. Suri. Shout out Suri and Ozzy. I just got chills thinking about that. Suri and Ozzy.
Yeah.
Emily Flippin. Rick Devens. Jenna and Savannah. What stands out to you in this tribe?
I think this is the strongest tribe for built for challenges because you've got challenge beasts like Chrissy and Joe, and then you've got the puzzlers like Christian, Emily, and then you got Savannah who can kind of do it all too. So I think this tribe is set up to kind of dominate the early challenges.
Talk to me. I read a little bit about Suri and is it Suri and Stephanie might have some beef from Traitors, is that right? I mean, I know they're in separate tribes, but is that going to come up at all?
Yeah, I think so, but I've also seen Cerise say that it kind of got blown out of proportion, and it was just because of how Stephanie got between them.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think in this tribe, there's no one
But
in,
what we do get, we get
oh,
Suri and Ozzy for the third time.
oh, sorry. Go ahead. Talk about that.
We get Suri and Ozzy for the third time, and they've never worked together. So, or at least for long periods of time. So I think that'll be interesting to see what happens there. I could easily see kind of like the older school kind of taking shape in this tribe and maybe trying to get out. I think Savannah is probably in the biggest danger zone in this tribe just because they don't know anything about her and they have rumors that she'd won. So,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of baggage here, and there's no one
mhm,
no one had said they would vote out each other, but I mean, I do think like people have this image of Ozzy. I think we're gonna get a really different Ozzy. I think we're gonna get a really different a lot of
mhm,
people because some people are gonna tone it back a bit. Some people are going. It sounded like everyone's like, "Oh man, I got to really work on my social game and lay." Everyone wants to
mhm.
lay low. No one here can lay low in Survivor 50, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be interesting to see who does it well. And can Ozzy still swim and fish and do everything like he was superhero
Yeah.
before? Are we going to see that? Because I think old Survivor people, I think it's going to bring in a lot of people who used to love Survivor. They're going to be looking like, oh, there's that Ozzy guy. But this is a different Ozzy. This is an Ozzy who's moved
Hmm.
to Mexico and started his own business and is not the Venice surfer guy anymore.
Yeah.
He's the one I'm super excited to watch, of course. And yeah, how is Emily going to interact with people? She's someone who's here on her
Hmm.
own. I like those people too who have never played with some of these people.
Yeah.
I'm really interested. And there's a lot of them who is like that, but I thought that was interesting. The blue Kalo tribe. We got Jonathan, we got D, Mike White, Camilla, Charlie, Tiffany, and then Coach and Chrissy are kind of the older ones, which is kind of crazy. This is kind of a younger tribe. I know Mike White's a little older, but these people all kind of
Hmm.
came from a newer-ish era.
Hmm.
What did you make of this blue tribe?
Really interesting, honestly. I know a lot of people said that they kind of wanted to target Jonathan. I know Camilla specifically said that just because of how much of a challenge beast he is. But it's going to be interesting to see how they change their dynamic if, say, two people are going home every week and it's just the first team that comes across the finish line wins. Because you
Yeah.
want somebody like Jonathan on your side in that case.
Yeah, it should be noted Jonathan wrote that he would like to get Charlie out.
Hmm.
There was a couple people that said they wanted Charlie out, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Charlie, of course, one swing vote away from really, getting the crown
Hmm.
of sole survivor. He's an interesting one. I did see in a video that the kind of overall theme is it's a lot of people in Survivor 50 who were so close and
Hmm.
maybe missed out at final tribal, someone like Coach, someone like Mike White. Yeah, it's just Chrissy's another one that got there right to the end. She was burned by fire making. So yeah, this is an interesting group. I mean,
And
of
you've
the
got the person who you could say was trying to campaign against him in Final Tribal with Tiffany and Charlie on the same tribe.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Hmm.
I am, yeah, so excited. This of the three, I agree with you. I think orange is probably the most for challenges on paper, but of course that never works out, right? You'd think like, oh, that
Hmm.
tribe for sure is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in Survivor, which is great. It'll be so cool to see everyone mixed up. I like that they showed us the tribes. I feel like they're gonna do so much promo and roll out the next couple
Hmm.
weeks. This was a great one, and I feel good about how they mixed up the tribes. It doesn't feel unfair or unbalanced, really. So well done by Survivor. Next is the bios. The part of the blog where they're asking the castaways, how are you feeling? What are you bringing to the next game? What do you think about the fans interacting? What stood out to you? We can trade one apiece, maybe.
Yeah, I think the first one that I wrote down, I really liked what Tiffany said, because I want to see people who want to change kind of maybe what they did a little bit the first time, because obviously for most of these people it didn't work out. And she said she wanted to play each day like the next doesn't exist, because she tried to look too far down the line, and people saw her as too much of a threat because of that. And I think that's going to help her in this game.
Yeah, I like that. Tiffany, I'm very excited to see how Tiffany plays, because Tiffany might be one of those that she was, I think, out at 8, maybe it was 6, that like she was out one of the later ones than most of the people here. So I'm excited to see her gameplay. I liked D. Shout out my favorite new era winner. Shout out D. Shout out UFC. She was there. Love it. She said, on season 45, I played like I had something to prove. On season 50, I'm playing like I have nothing to lose. That's a bar. That's a bar from D. And I think D has maybe one top 3 biggest targets on her back, just because there's recency bias. She did have an awesome way of winning, kind of manipulated the relationships the way she wanted to go, won challenges. I love this. And yeah, she's got to play like she's got nothing to lose. Because also, yeah, these winners who are coming back, I feel like they're going to be able to play loose and fast, because if they lose, it's all right. It's like, all right, I still have already won Survivor.
For sure.
And I think that's going to show a different gameplay from people. And yeah, it might not be so obvious to vote out a previous winner before. So I liked that quote. Anything else you liked?
I liked Mike White, because he said they asked him why he thinks he would win 50, and he says, "I don't think I will be."
That's funny, dude. I had heard something that he had said that he held back in the final tribal of his season because he felt bad being a celebrity who already had lots of money, taking from a guy who was like working in the public sector. So I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know that. But also, like, I hope he still feels like he can come after, because I think everyone who's on this season, they're not necessarily there for the money. They are there for which is a pretty cool thing. There for the legacy. And I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how Mike plays, because I hope he's aggressive. I hope he's fun. I know everyone's gonna be excited to interact with him. My quote I went with next is from Kyle, who again I also think has maybe the biggest target on his back. This was asked about what does he hope the fans vote for? And I think that's kind of interesting. He said, hot take, but I hope that there are as many twists in the game as possible. He says that I think I am more adaptable than most players. I like this. I like this because, a twist can really control a game. I mean, you play the games that are in front of you. As Patriots fans, we know this well. You kind of just have to play the game. And sometimes it's a roll of the dice and you're out, and that kind of sucks. Hopefully, season 50, they kind of allow for a little bit of wiggle room there, but I like the idea of like lots of twists, because he's probably someone who's got his back against the wall. He needs some twists, and that'd be cool. Any other ones? Any other quotes?
No, that was all I really had.
All right, well, I had one more, and this was Camilla also talking about what gets cut. I like Camilla's spot in the game, by the way. She said, listen, I hate Final Four fire making, but I need it back so I can redeem myself. Also, no rice, please. The lack of food affects bigger people more than it does smaller people, so I'd like them all to deteriorate faster.
That's smart, honestly.
I love it, dude. I love that Camilla has because lost that fire making to Eva, and she was really that close. It would have been so interesting if her and Kyle were at the end of who would have got it, because maybe still edges to Kyle, but I mean, if Camilla had won fire, that would have been big for her. And, I like that she's like, I want it still there. I saw Chrissy was like, I want fire out because it took me out. And I like that honesty too. So pretty cool. Another big thing that they released was their Survivor 50 snubs. They asked every Survivor 50 castaway who was snubbed, and I thought it was a pretty interesting list. And really how I broke it down was who got the most votes and then who was kind of interesting. Carolyn got the most votes of the 24 contestants. 3 people said Carolyn, D, Savannah, and Angelina. 3 people said Jerry, Colby, Genevieve, and Charlie. two new era, one way old. I like Colby. Colby and her had a great rivalry back in the day, if you remember that. I love that Ozzy and Mike White, who I think both of those guys don't give a bleep. They both said Richard Hatch, who is the first winner, maybe a little controversial, but also like
I was gonna say
Mike White being like, he was the first gay nudist. We need Richard Hatch back. I thought that was interesting. I like the balls there. I love that my girl Camilla said that she wants Philip on 50.
Awesome.
Her and I, same right there. I love it. And Joe, the only person to say Boston Rob. I thought that was interesting. Did anything from there stand out to you?
I mean, Carolyn, I think, is easily, I think, in my eyes, the number one snub as well.
For sure.
I think a lot of people thought she should have been on there over a couple other people, but hopefully we'll get her back eventually at some point.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I fully agree. I think Carolyn, she's luckily had a lot of success, maybe doing other shows and whatnot, and yeah, it'd be great to have her back. I think she will come back to Survivor eventually, but also her not being a 50, I think, is okay. I think it's all right. She's a funny character, but I mean, we also need a great player, and not say she wasn't, but she had a great alliance that took her far.
I did I think Aubrey said Kelly Wentworth as well, and I think that was a really good one. Because she, I think, to me, is one of the hardest players that's ever played, because she was never really in a powerful spot, but she always fought from the bottom and played extremely hard every time she played, and I think I just loved watching her play.
Yeah. No, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was cool. Is there anyone you're surprised didn't get brought up in this snubbed list? Who was snubbed from the snubbed list is the question.
I had wrote Amanda, and then I kind of figured that maybe they didn't write her because she turned them down, and they wouldn't have put her in there anyways.
Right.
I think James would have been a good one as well.
James, yes. Gravedigger, I like that. I thought Cochran was one that I'm like, that seems like a fan favorite. Yeah, Boston Rob really strikes me. I mean, Tony and Sandra, you must have assumed like they've won two. We can take a little bit of a break from them. I do like that it's a big list of people who got so close or is pretty dominant winners, and let's see how they play against them. So otherwise, I thought I loved hearing from everyone and hearing who they thought was really worthy of it. And yeah, I bet some people would have said Camilla, and yeah, I think someone said Malcolm as well. I think Rizzo said Malcolm. I like that pick. Yeah. All right. So let's get into the chances of winning. We're calling it the chances of winning. It's kind of hard to really figure out how to break this down. So we figured who has a low chance of winning, who has like a medium chance of winning, and who has the highest chance of winning based off of I mean, we really don't know. There's a lot of talk about alliances going into 50, which is kind of a bummer because we don't really know how to judge that. But we're kind of basing off of their previous gameplay and what they could be bringing it into here. We're each going to bring two people in each category. Let's start with who has the lowest chance of winning Survivor 50. Richie, according to you, who are the two that are in that category? Lowest chance.
I put D in Savannah. I think Savannah, because they know she won and they know nothing about her. So I think it's just going to be tough for anybody to really trust her. And then D played, I think, more often than not gets picked the best new era game. So I don't think they want her going super far in this game.
Yeah. I like it. I did go with Kyle, and I went with Christian. I think Christian is he's just too likable for everyone. I think I could see Christian being someone that's like, and maybe he gets far. This isn't saying they don't get far, but it's just like they don't have a chance of really winning. Kyle, I mean, you heard people say, I think 3 people said, who do they want to vote out first? They said Kyle, because for this season, for these people, the last season they watched was Kyle. So the way like filming and whatnot worked, they've seen Kyle's season from what I understand. So I'm like, that's just not a good sign for Kyle. I love Kyle. And then yeah, Christian, just too likable. That's kind of keeping it simple.
Fair.
All right, medium chance. They have a lukewarm chance of winning this game. Who do you got here?
I went with Sari and Joe.
Nice.
And I kind of think they're gonna play this season together. I know Joe said he kind of wanted to play with her a little bit. I think they could go decent ways, but I just don't see them letting Sari get to the end, because if she gets to the end, she wins. It doesn't matter who she's up against. No matter what, she wins the game.
Right.
And so I don't see anybody letting her get to the end. But if she does, she could win. So that's why I put her in the medium chance.
Yeah, I put Suri as well. I kind of similar thing. I saw someone say Suri's no matter what Suri does in 50, her legacy will not change. Like because we saw a lot of people. I mean, shout out Rupert to be honest was one who every time he came back, his like stock was dropping. Sadly, just the game got harder or something. And Suri's one where she's gonna be fine. Hopefully, we just get a lot of great Suri moments, maybe Suri moves. But yeah, I imagine even if people who are aligned with her will turn on her eventually, like as soon as they can.
For sure.
And I also went with Ozzy too, because I just think Ozzy's gonna run into a similar thing that he always has, that he's a challenge beast, that he's too likable, and yeah, I think they might get a little starstruck there. Let's go to high chance, the highest possible chance of winning. Who are your two?
I got Tiffany, who I think I put her on there because I think she's in a really good spot because she's not necessarily a huge threat like a lot of these people are. And so I think she can almost skate by a little bit at the beginning of the game if she wants to, and then really start to ramp up her play in the latter half. And then I also put Christian. I'm opposite of yours, but I think he's also in a good spot. I think he's not necessarily a huge threat because he made it far, but he didn't make it all the way to the end. Didn't right?
Right, yeah.
And
yeah, he got out at 6, I think I saw.
Yeah. So I think he's in a good spot coming off just that wise, and then also just how smart and strategic he is. I think he will set himself up and play smart enough that's not overbearing because he knows now a lot of these new era players like to get the top dog out early.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to play it down how well he's playing the game.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I like those picks. That makes sense to me. I think my high chance is Jenna and Joe. I'm going with Jenna mostly because like I think there's a legacy thing here that like Jenna's not a new era player. Jenna doesn't maybe know how to. I don't think Jenna's threat level is going to be as high as everyone else, especially the age thing, not being around. It'll, of course, depend on alliances and all that stuff. But to me, Jenna's just one that's floating under the radar. And maybe it's, again, a recency thing of like Jenna's probably the season I have watched furthest away. And yeah, I think she's got a good chance at least to get to the end, maybe win. Joe, I think Joe plays a continuation of the game he played in 48 where no one takes him seriously, but he still makes it to the end, except Joe maybe makes adjustments to his final tribal, makes adjustments to his final end gameplay, but I just don't think people are going to take Joe seriously because I was so shocked that like yeah, everyone, all the castaways from his season were like, yeah, no, I wasn't voting for Joe at the end. When I thought, oh, Joe's this challenge beast who's got a great ally and is doing he's doing all the right things. I thought Joe was playing a great game. I think a similar thing happens with him, that he keeps it going. People kind of maybe don't take him seriously as a social threat, and maybe he could use that and learn his lesson and play a little better this time. And I'm honestly rooting for Joe. So
you don't see him like making any moves and churning on anyone at any point, really?
No, I think he will. I think he will.
Okay. Because I feel like he didn't do that last time, and
right.
That's kind of what cost him.
Right. I think he'll make certain changes where he'll step on the gas more than he did previously. Well, I think other people are going to slow it down a bit, or
I could see that.
Yeah. All in all, who knows? We could be totally wrong. We're gonna in a couple weeks we'll really do our first who's voted out first. We got to figure out how many people are voted out each episode.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, because that's gonna be a thing, man. We're gonna have to pull the drinks back off the shelf and get our normal thing going because it's been too long. I'm excited to review it. To go through Survivor 50. Hopefully, it comes sooner rather than later. Luckily, we got some stuff in between there. Traitors is probably going to take us all the way. What do you make of this Traitors season? I mean, I know I'm not watching, but I know it's one of the most powerful reality shows on TV right now. How's it doing so far? I know it's a big episode tonight, Thursday, the 29th.
Yeah, it's been a really fun season, honestly. It sucks because they got a lot of the really good gamers off that I wanted to play early. But I understand why they got them off for good reasons because they are such gamers. I think it's almost kind of they're at a disadvantage just coming in because people know they play these games and stuff. But other than that, I mean, it's been incredible. I love seeing just the lines from Housewives to Love Island to Big Brother Survivor, all that just crossing, and people just it's just so funny to me. Like you never find these people in a group anywhere else together, but it just makes for such good television.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's sick. Yeah, I feel like I've only heard good things. Do you have an idea of who you think is going to win or how it's going to play out?
I think right now the Traitors are playing such a good game that I could see there's three Traitors currently left, Rob, Candace, and Lisa, and I could see Rob and Candace both making it to the end right now and winning.
Sheesh. All right, you heard it here first. Last question about
Yeah.
Traitors is I heard they're going to be doing it with regular people, kind of like Survivor in terms of
hmm
like they're not bringing in reality all-stars. Do you think that's going to be a better show?
I think it's still going to be a really good show because these people don't know anything about each other.
Yeah.
Whereas right now, like I said, they get these tough gamers out early. Nobody's going to know that in the
Yeah.
actual Traitors if it's just regular people. So I kind of like that, honestly. I think it will be very well watched as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, yeah, if Survivor was getting started and you're like, oh, we want to cast a bunch of normies and
hmm
whatever,
Yeah.
they might today go, no, you got to use reality stars that people know first. We got to make sure the show works, then bring in normies. Because, yeah, I
hmm
mean, normies, like, for Survivor is always so interesting because, yeah, you are getting people
Yeah.
from, all different walks of life. And I
hmm
think in the Traders context, hopefully that works.
And I mean, I
Uh,
still watch the show, and I only know going into the Traitors like maybe five or six of the
yeah,
people. So I still watch it. So I'll watch it with if I don't know any of them.
no matter the cast.
hmm
Nice. Another big thing happening. We are about 9 days away from
Yep.
Super Bowl 60. The New England Patriots are back taking on the
Whew.
Seattle Seahawks. This is a very unique Patriots team in the Super Bowl because it's not led by Tom Brady. It's led
hmm
by Drake May. I guess all in all, like thoughts on, we're here now. How does it feel that this Pats team is in the Super Bowl? Obviously, the path was unique, but
Yeah.
every path, I mean, wasn't chosen. I don't
hmm
know. What do you make of this Patriots team?
I think this team is being widely underlooked. And
Yes.
I mean, they went against three of the top five defenses these last three games in the playoffs. Playoff football is very different.
Yeah.
Um, they're forgetting how good this offense can be when they're not playing against these top defenses and in this blizzard. So I'm really excited to see what happens with this offense. I could see it being a high scoring game. I could also see this being a defensive game too.
Yeah. And dude, this Seattle team is really good too. Like
hmm
I give them all the props in the world. I love the fuel that like, yo, they're the better team. I mean, I saw a
hmm
Bleacher Report. They put out a thing that it's like position by position,
Yeah.
who wins each matchup, and it only gave the Patriots quarterback, which obviously I love Drake May, and I think Drake May is a
hmm
better quarterback, but Sam Darnold's more established and has more years under his belt, kind of has proven
hmm
himself to be a quarterback more than Drake May has. Talent for talent,
Yeah.
whatever. Tight end they gave to the Patriots too, which sure. And then every other position matchup they gave to the Seahawks. And I love that. I love that the Patriots are a 5-point underdog because
hmm
in the Super Bowl, man, anything can happen. And yeah, it could be like what was it? Seahawks Broncos where it was a blowout because or was it Panther? It was a Panthers Seahawks.
Panthers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Panthers, Broncos.
Panthers Broncos. Yeah, that's the one where it was just like
hmm
not even fun at all and you thought, "Oh, this would be great." It could be that. I totally could see that happening, but I just think with the Patriots counter, they know how to win these games, man.
hmm
Like no matter the situation and yeah, the Patriots are a lot more healthy, I think, than the Seahawks. And
hmm
yeah, I love it. How do you see the game going from
I
as of
see
right now?
one huge factor that a lot of people aren't really talking about, and it's Christian Gonzalez on JSN. I
Mhm.
mean, if they showed his like the quarterback passer rating targeting Christian Gonzalez, and they said they would have a better passer rating just spiking the ball every play. So good luck to JSN. You know Christian Gonzalez has his picture just posted in his locker this entire week. I'm pumped to see that matchup.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. That's gonna be so good. I can't wait for it. I think even the running backs, like just getting them going, like if they only have Kenneth Walker,
hmm
they don't have Charbonnet, I think that's big because I think the Patriots have a great 1-2 punch, in their back pocket.
hmm
Sometimes they have quiet weeks, sometimes they have massive weeks, whether it's Travion Penderson, as we know him, or Ramondre Stevenson. And I'm just so excited, man. I think I'm nervous. But it's also like someone asked me, they're like, dude, like, well, how does it feel? And I'm like, dude, I've been here before. I've been here.
100%.
And you know what? I've lost. Like Nick Foles caught a touchdown pass on me before. Like that hurts too. And yeah, my team's been down 28-3 and I sat there and I watched that whole thing. Nothing but excitement. And yeah, man, if Drake May can squeeze this out early. I watched the 2001 Super Bowl, it's like a 20-minute highlight on YouTube. Kind of shows the big plays and whatnot. And it's kind of similar. Brady didn't have a crazy game. He only had one
100%.
touchdown, one defensive touchdown, and then one offensive. And I mean, defensive touchdown was huge. The defensive touchdown also is Mike Vrabel hitting the quarterback so hard, hitting Kurt Warner so hard. Ty Law catches it, takes it to the house, and I got goosebumps. I was like, dude, Braves, man, let's go. This one's written in the stars. And I hope that Sam Darnold sees those Patriot jerseys and just looks down and sees his Jets jersey on again and just becomes the shell of himself that we know that he can be. But
the Sam Darnold meltdown game has been coming, and I've been thinking it's coming every round of the playoffs. It's coming this round of the playoffs.
Yeah. No, yeah, and there's so much to be said about the Patriots schedule, which, I mean, I hear the noise and I think it's fair. But of course, again, they don't pick their schedule, and dude, it's still hard to win in the NFL. I like a guy at work. I saw a great tweet that's the Seahawks since 8-week bye and all the quarterbacks they've faced. Injured Jaden Daniels, backup Jacoby Brissett. It says division quarterback, but that's Matt Stafford, which I'm also like, yeah, it's MVP, but you have so much tape on this guy. You play this guy all the time. You've played him for years. Cam Ward, Max Brosmer, Kirk Cousins, Phillip Rivers, Bryce Young, they also haven't seen too many people like Drake May,
100%,
like Josh McDaniels, and I just love the Pats' chances. I don't think it's a high scoring game, but I think it's like a 24-20 type.
Yeah, for sure.
Scrap, and I'm just excited, man. I'll be on NBC. I mean, Chris Collinsworth, he's called 5 Patriots Super Bowls. He's only called 6 total. That's love crazy. It. I'm so ready for this. February is going to be a great month, and Arizona's birthday, Valentine's Day. We got a lot going on. Richie, thanks so much for joining, dude. We will be back talking Survivor soon. Maybe getting some guests involved.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Richie? Any other any words? Anything for ASU? Anything for the Thunder? Did the Thunder need to make any moves? That's it. Any
I
moves
don't think
for
so.
the deadline?
Get healthy. Get healthy.
Get healthy?
Yeah.
You don't. Hey, you want to be in the Giannis sweepstakes or no?
No.
Nah. All right. Let him go somewhere else. All
right.
I appreciate it. All right. Thanks, Richie. We'll see you next time. Love you guys.